Portimão is a special place, not only because it's my home race. Look, it's a spectacular and a fantastic track. It goes up, down, offers a complete range of corners, slow, fast, blind. It's a real challenge. The track is even quicker after being resurfaced for Formula One.
Welcome to Portimão. There is no better place to finish the season.
Down the pit lane, we're set for an exciting and thrilling weekend. A title decider in both LMGTE and LMP3 classes, while 12 teams will fight to complete the LMP2 podium. Place your bets, let's go racing.
In LMP2, United Autosports has already secured the European Le Mans Series title with Felipe Albuquerque, Phil Hansen and their number 22 Oreca. Now they're going for a 1-2 championship result with the number 32 sister car. There are, however, 12 teams who could be on the final podium for the season. Chief amongst the contenders, Graf and Panis, tied on points in third place.
Being in the top three is really the goal at the moment. Yeah, it's definitely going to be very difficult. We're very close with a lot of people in the championship. Second position does feel quite difficult to achieve. We're 20 points behind. We also have to think about Panis Racing and G-Drive. Panis Racing are tied with us on points at the moment, and G-Drive is 1 point behind, so they're definitely the main competitors for this weekend. Yeah, it's definitely going to be a very close fight, and I'm really excited.
Definitely, our goal is to finish on the podium of the season ELMS this year. I think we have to work a lot for this track. This track is really difficult for the driver, for the car also with the bump. Even with the tarmac, it's new. And for sure, there is some really good teams, but we prove also with the Panis team that we can battle for the podium each race.
In LMGTE, the top of the table clash is an absolute classic. Ferrari versus Porsche. The number 74 Kessel Racing crew have a 7-point advantage over the 77 Proton competition team. The calculations here are very straightforward. It's winner takes it all.
It's a combination of nerves and excitement. Excitement because the track is producing so much grip for all of us. So you just keep pushing. So the satisfaction is there, which means the race will be enjoyable. But the thing about ELMS, it's about strategy. That's the key thing. So if we get our strategy right on Sunday, who knows?
Championship is tied, a few points, and we have just one option to make it, bring it home. So we have to win, and if you start to make pressure on yourself, you're done before starting the race.
It's going to be the same for us, because if they win the race, they win the championship, even if we finish second. So actually, the first step is quali. If we can get that point, that's a very good step. And then we have to push like crazy in the race. The target is to win the race.
It's a 4-horse race in LMP3. United Autosport's number 2 team leads the category, but 3 rivals are within 21 points.
This year, as a general theme, we've had the strongest car and the strongest driver lineup. In real terms, I hope that means we take the championship, but motorsport can sometimes throw a few curveballs, and fingers crossed we'll be able to keep in control of it.
P2, we are chasing the others. We're confident as always, and we will see. It's a long race, 4 hours to go, and in the end we will see where we are.
For sure, when you can win the title, you always try to get it. You know, we are fighters, so yeah, for sure title is the target, but we know it will be difficult, so yeah, we just try to do our best in the last race and see what happens.
Let's say we will go lap by lap on the race, because it's a long race, anything can happen. So we're going to keep our heads up and focus really on the race.
There are 2 all-female teams here on the grid in the LMS, Iron Dames and Richard Mille Racing. But there are also women working in management, mechanics, engineers. Us women are everywhere in the paddock.
The motorsport was not the sport that it was easy for the women to grow up, but it's getting better and better.
Definitely, there is some machismo, but this is part of it. It's I would miss it when it's not that way. It's spacing up our job, also to handle, I would say, to handle the boys.
At the beginning, with the race director, with the steward, was maybe they were surprised to have a woman in front of them.
In motorsport as a woman, especially when you come to a team new, or if you start new, because everybody's like, oh, okay, what does she want here? And I think the image is changing, but it hasn't achieved a certain point yet.
I think it depends on the team, because, I mean, I'm really lucky with TDS. They're a really cool team. I think they're not at all sexist, and everything goes really well.
When the guy understands you are able to do your job, it becomes easier.
We always have to double prove ourselves on and off track, but when you can do so, then you're fully accepted.
I think it's the global situation in society, so women are more and more present in the high-level jobs.
It's really interesting that there are a lot more women in motorsports. Even if it is a kind of a masculine universe, it's just basically passion that's most important, and we're all in the same boat.
I am very proud that the women feel comfortable to work here in this paddock.
I think there's a collegiality between the women in the LMS.
Yes, there is a community in the ELMS paddock. It's really, really important because we always can learn from each other. And I hope every girl also understands that we can help each other because together we are stronger.
and 8 minutes.
We're looking forward to the race. It will be a hectic 4 hour. Portimão is always special. You never know what happens, and it will be 4 hours full with action. In the end, we are now here to finish second, to get their second Le Mans entry done. And that's the main goal, and also the 22 will work with us to achieve this.
We are ready to fight again in this fantastic racetrack, and starting from the pole, it's great for the team, Iron Links, for the guys at the end of the season to celebrate something special. And we will have Rino Mastronardi behind the wheel, so we feel that we are very consistent from the beginning.
We had a bit of pressure on our shoulders to get the extra point for pole. But if you look at the points, and depending on the results of today's race, that extra point could prove very, very important. And if things aren't going our way, we might have to think championship. But hopefully we can get a win. It'll be a nice way to seal it.
We are under 1 minute to open pit exit for LMP2. We are under 1 minute to open pit exit for LMP2. Start of the formation lap. Green flag, start of the formation lap.
36 cars following four-time Le Mans winner Yannick Dalmas in the leading car. Will Owen, 32 United Autosports on pole. Julien Canal for Panis Barthez to his left. Row 2, Alexandre Coigny for Cool Racing. Paul Lafargue for EDEC Sport. Third row, the 2020 champions, Phil Hansen for United and Roman Rusinov with the G-Drive. We are ready to go racing for the final time.
We have started the 4 hours of Portimão.
Looks like the front row are under pressure. Phil Hansen on the left of the screen. But Julien Canal, Panis Barthez contact with a fast-starting Roman Rusinov, who goes around the outside into the lead. Oh, half spin there. That's the 22 United car getting caught out by 37. That's Alexandre Coigny. Coigny starting from the inside of row 2. Very slow getaway. He's held up the 22 United car as well. Everybody else just about safely through. Down to the hairpin for the first time. Konstantin Tereshchenko takes 5th place away from Paul Lafargue in the red EDEC Sport car. It is Will Owen's view of the first turn as Roman Rusinov goes by. And a huge lock-up from Alexandre Coigny on the inside. Almost spins out of the race, but clatters the 22 United car anyway. GTE Ferrari 1-2, Rino Mastronardi replacing Claudio Schiavone ahead of Francois Perrodo. And Manuela Gosner for Iron Lynx, the Iron Dames. Mikel Broniszewski for Kessel Racing, the 74 car. So in fact, a Ferrari 1, 2, 3, 4 at the moment. Porsche not having much of a look in 5th position. But it's a long 4 hours around this undulating roller coaster of Portimão. Battle for 7th in LMP2. Paul Lafargue ahead of Jakub Śmiechowski. Oh, up the inside, Śmiechowski, great pass. Caught him completely by surprise. Alexandre Cuno right there in the 39 Graf Racing car as well. Well, fantastic effort though from Jakub Śmiechowski. Started 11th, now up to 7th place. And starting fourth in the race lead, G drives Roman Rusinov. Normally he's pretty conservative at the start of a race. Not sure he was conservative here though. Fastest race lap as well. Well, they haven't won the championship this season. Looks like they're determined to go out and win the last race from the front. Battle for second in LMP2. Andrew Bentley chasing Lorenzo Veglia. RLR M Sport just ahead of the number 3 United Autosport car, but running out wide. And that gives Bentley a run behind him up to turn 13. Battle for fourth in LMP3. This is the real-time racing car of Julian Gerbi, the Algerian, replacing Esteban Garcia. And Andrew Bentley on the inside at turn 3. Couldn't get through, and a half spin, a full spin in fact. Rodrigo Sales, JMW Motorsport, down at the hairpin. So easy to do, outbrakes himself, and into the gravel he goes. Let's see if he can get out there. On board with Roman Rusinov. Over yet another blind brow. Down into the hairpin he comes as well. And Rusinov in traffic. What happens here? Runs out wide at the top of the hill. The 32 United car is there.
3, 2, 1. Full course yellow. Full course yellow.
And there has been a change of lead. The 32 United car leads from G drives Roman Rusinov.
Full course yellow remove. Track back to green.
Will Owen for United down to the hairpin. Leading by not even a car length, and Rusinov having a lunge on the exit. Gravel there from the JMW Ferrari. Rusinov with the line up the hill, but the next corner's a right-hander. Will Owen keeps his nerve and keeps his lead. Onto the straight comes the battle for fifth. Paul Lafargue just clinging on. Managed to get by the P3 car. Alexandre Cuno, the Graf Racing number 39 car, right behind. Lunges deep on the inside. Oh, that was nearly a big one. He just got out of the way, and Lafargue had enough room to get around him. So Paul Lafargue hangs on to fifth ahead of Alexandre Cuno. This is a fantastic track for racing in any kind of car, and ELMS is no different. So many challenges for the drivers, so many challenges for the chassis, and especially for the tyres. And he's got to put a P3 car between them, using the traffic to his advantage. Battle for third place. Wolfgang Triller in the orange and black DKR car. The Algarve Pro LMP2 car goes through, but it slows him down. He ran offline. Chance for Martin Hipper. Hipper in the yellow and green machine. And through he goes. Really used the traffic well to his advantage. On board with Michael Fassbender, looking the rear view mirror, telling him there's a car closing behind and which side of him it's gone. Very useful indeed, that little bit of computerized imagery. Fassbender in the 93 Proton competition. Porsche again, starting the race. Iron Lynx leading from AF Corsa. Proton 77 up to third now, as they battle for supremacy. Fassbender, I'm sure, really relishing the challenge of this track. What driver wouldn't like it, whether you've been here once or 100 times? This is Jacopo Barato for Euro International, having a look at the inside number 10 Nielsen car. Rob Hodes couldn't hang on there. As you come over the brow, the car drifts out wide. Barato piled on the pressure, and he goes through for sixth position. Race leader Will Owen, giving you a great view of how much you can and can't see around this track. So many tight corners, so many blind brows. You really rely on the marshals to warn you what's in front as you climb and dive around this Algarve circuit. Second and a half ahead of Roman Rusinov, trying to build that advantage. Oh, dive down the inside for seventh place from Eric Thuyer. Graf Racing driver gets in very deep but holds it. Block pass there on Rob Hodes, the Nielsen Racing driver, coming back at him though over the brow. But down into the hairpin. The Graf Racing car with the inside line. It's always harder to stop there. Hodes with grip on the outside. Still can't get by. And the United car closing in behind is not going to make life easier. Will Owen stays in the lead car. Roman Rusinov has handed over to Mikkel Jensen at G-Drive though. Race leader is now Konstantin Terashenko for Duquesne. Sharing the car with Tristan Gourmady, Jonathan Hershey. And our GTE leader, Rino Mastronardi, with Sergio Pianazzola and Andrea Piccini sharing the car with him. Oh, contact perhaps for Wolfgang Triller, the DKR engineering car coming back into the pit lane. DKR claiming their 4th straight Michelin Le Mans Cup title the previous day. Let's see what happens here. And it's the... Ooh, it's not. It's happened already by that stage. Manuela Gosner, the Iron Dames Ferrari 83, has stopped on track. And the replay shows us Manuela rolling offline and coming to a dead halt. Looks like she might have no drive in the car.
We did a pretty good start, you know, so it was, I was quite impressed because this Monica was watching F1 video from Brighton and I said, oh, well, maybe I can do the same. So at the end of the day, it was quite good, so I was P1. Then I was pushed a little bit by the Ferrari, I lost the P1, but I think now we have the right car, we can do a very good job, and I think my mates can be quite fast, so I think we can fight for a win today. So let's try to make a clear race, and I think it will be a very good one.
Looking like a good track for Ferrari here. This is the 55 Spirit of Race Ferrari of Duncan Cameron, all over the back of Christian Ried in the 77 Proton competition Porsche. Don't forget we had a Ferrari 1-2 at the beginning as well. Kessel Racing in the pits. Mikhail Broniszewski in the 74 car. And he is released back into the attack. Leisurely departure. Battle for 6th place, Anders Fjordbach for high class behind Julian Canal in the Panis Racing number 31 car. JMW Ferrari in front, and Canal may get held up down the sweep into the final corner. He does, and around the outside. Hold your breath. So much breath holding going on here. Anders Fjordbach right with Julian Canal. He's got the run on him as well. Sends it down the inside. The Dane for high class moves up. And the Nielsen LMP3 car comes out in front, the team liking that one. Wow, that was exciting stuff to say the least. On board with Mikkel Jensen, the Dane driving for G-Drive. And in 2nd place behind a 32 United Autosports car, there is the lead gap. That's the leader right in front. Looks like the Iron Dames have got going again. Yes, they have. But there is nothing between the top two. Mikkel Jensen can almost reach out and touch the United Autosports car of Will Owen. And the two teams going a different way on their driver strategies. Don't forget the 32 United car won the season opener. Can they win the season closer as well and bookend their year with victories? And that would certainly help them towards finishing 2nd in the overall points table. He gets a good run down the hill, does Mikkel Jensen. At the end of the straight, he'll be right in the toe, hoovering up Will Owen. Owen goes onto the racing line at the last minute. Jensen sends it down the inside. Can he control it on the exit? He can. He takes the lead. G-Drive back in front.
I blocked my front tires, and that gave me a big problem during the race because I had a big flash spot. So I had to manage that, and I did it quite well, and I'm quite happy about our situation right now. I'm sure that James will do a good job.
Graf Racing car off in the gravel. That's the number 9, Arnold Robin. The Frenchman was in 5th place. There was trouble at the hairpin as well. JMW car getting spun out by Sergio Pianazzola.
Stop and go penalty, car 60 for the contact with car 66.
Leader in the pits, Mikkel Jensen at G-Drive. Door open, but the driver stays in, so he will stay on the same tyres into a double stint. Stefan Gehrig for AF Corsa, and Andrew Watson in the Gulf Racing Porsche right behind the Ferrari that fishtails wildly as Gehrig chases the throttle too eagerly. Change for sixth place coming up surely. That was an open goal for Andrew Watson, down into the hairpin, he's in front. And in sixth position he goes. And the LMP3 cars coming by won't help the Ferrari driver catch him up either. Mikkel Jensen in the G-Drive car there as well. Let's get down with Haley to United Autosports.
He made a mistake in traffic and came back on at like a very hard angle to me. Well, came back on quickly and I had to move over so he didn't just take me off the track. But it was okay. We had a little contact, but I was able to keep going and then drive away. And then after the first pit stop, I think they changed driver and they were a lot quicker and I couldn't hold them off for too long. So yeah, it was a good fight.
Fighting the good fight now in the 32 car is Alex Brundle, right behind Jakub Śmiechowski. Oh, there's the Inter-Europol Cars LMP3 teammate. So this is the battle for fourth in LMP2. Duquesne still leading. And Śmiechowski under real pressure from Alex Brundle. The British driver looks to the inside. That was a great move. Got Śmiechowski defending late and then dive through on the inside. Through he goes. That'll make them smile a little bit more. High class racing and Panis, the 31 car, right behind. Nicolas Jamin all over the back of Dennis Anderson in the number 20 high class car. Jamin looking on the inside. Can he hold his nose in there? Up to the hairpin at 13. He does. Anderson didn't close the door. He knew there was a tiny overlap and he was right not to shut it as well. So good move by Jamin. Heads up driving by Dennis Anderson. Contact there would not have been pretty for either of them. And they're working their way now through the GTE battle. Oh, and Francois Perrodo, the Ferrari there, has gone off. That's a long way out to the tyre barriers. It wasn't a heavy impact, I don't think, but he is buried in the gravel, and this might be a safety car. Replay down at the hairpin. James Allen and Richard Bradley getting together. And in the pits, the race leader.
Full course yellow, full course yellow.
Well, full course yellow brings everybody down to the pit lane speed limit. Richard Bradley for EDEC Sports. James Allen, the Aussie, just in front of him in the 39 Graf car. That's the 7th place battle, like everything else. Frozen at the moment while they rescue that Ferrari. Michael Fassbender waiting to take over the Porsche for his second go. Fuel stop for the GTE leader. This is Sergio Pianezzola in the Iron Lynx Ferrari.
Full course yellow removed, full course yellow removed.
Away we go, back up to speed once more. And there is Francois Perrodo heading back to the pit lane. He's been dragged out of the gravel. Meanwhile, Dennis Anderson and Richard Bradley lunging. Comes down the inside of the Dane, catches Anderson unawares there. Great move by Richard Bradley. At the hairpin, Francesco Draconi in the LMP2 BHK Motorsport car, clattering Julian Gerby in the Real Team P3 car. P3 battle for second now. Tom Chloe for BHK. That's the black car with the orange highlights. Runs out wide and Martin Hipper goes through for Inter-Europol. Climbing the order, the number 13 car. German driver having another good stint. And a long way off, Sebastian Page, the Swiss driver for Graf in their number 5 car. Let's hope his rallycross skills are up to it. That's a long way from terra firma. Nielsen were 5th and 6th. Nielsen are still 5th and 6th, but Charles Crew in the 10 car now ahead of Tony Wells in car number 7. Wells and Nielsen yesterday on top of the podium in Michelin Le Mans Cup, so Saturday was a great day for them in Portimão. And still 2 hours to see what Sunday will bring. Aaron Scott and Michele Beretta still battling the 77 Proton car and the 55 Spirited race car with different drivers and a different position at stake. This is now for second place. Really critical race for the Proton competition Porsche crew, and it's about to be spoiled again by Spirit of Race. Aaron Scott goes by Michele Beretta up to second place. Change for second here as Alex Brundle goes by Felipe Albuquerque. United Autosports car swapping positions. Down at the hairpin, dive bombing Mike Wainwright comes Christoph Ulrich. The AF Corsa Ferrari driver losing it on the exit though, and contact. Big damage for both of them.
The race was going good so far, but at the end of my stint we got a delamination on the tire in the last corner. At the beginning I thought there was a little bit of pickup. I tried to stay out to get until the end of my stint, but it was not possible. So we pit, and now we lost the lead. So now we are quite close to Kessel car, but we have to aim to the top.
G-Driver in the pits, this is the race leader, Mikkel Jensen. And the LMP3 leader in as well, United Autosports number 2 car, Rob Weldon. Nicola Maulini, LMP3 car in the middle of this LMP2 battle. Contact with a high-class car. The Graf 39 car squeezes through as Maulini gets spun out. René Binder in 9th, yellow and green into Europol competition car. Right behind Nico Lapierre for the 37 Cool Racing entry. And Lapierre all over the back of Binder right now, looking for the inside move at the top of the hill. Squeezes through. Yes, little round of applause from the team. Binder will try and fight back. Won't be so straightforward though. Back in second place, Felipe Albuquerque ahead of Alex Brundle. 22 back in front of 32. United still second and third. 90 minutes of racing left in the season. A 1-2 is not beyond the bounds of possibility.
Pit entry closed. We are under safety car.
And there's why Sergio Pinizzola's Iron Lynx Ferrari, the tyre ripping the back of the car apart. G-Drive leads United in LMP2. United are on top in LMP3, and Spirit of Race are our GTE leaders. But what about that title battle?
I think it's the same situation like the championship. We are really close, and we have a 1 hour and 20 minutes again to the finish, and we are really close to the Porsche. It's like all season. This is the same, but we have a 1 hour and 20 more to be really constant and to try to do our best. So we are supported with a big team. Now we are ready for the last pit stop, and then we'll see. But we try to do our best.
Safety car is in the pits. Traffic lights are green. No overtaking before the line.
Mikkel Jensen, the race leader, heads us off again. Behind, Algarve and Idek battling. Coming past the LMP3 leading United car is the Graf high-class squabble as well. And right behind, side by side, the 2 United Autosports cars that are battling for second. Who will hold the sway there? They're still side by side at turn 3. Ooh! 22 back in front, just Felipe Albuquerque ahead of Alex Brundle by inches. Brundle is still there, down to the hairpin they come. Oh, goodness me. They're up behind the LMP3 leading United car as well. And this is like a championship battle between rival teams. Both of them desperate to win here. But first, of course, they've got to survive and get to the G-Drive car. Not take each other off and not take their teammate off that's leading in LMP3 as well. Goodness me. Not sure anybody in the United garage will be watching the monitors anywhere other than through their fingers at the moment. This is potentially a major disaster, but 2 hugely experienced sports car racers giving it everything. No team orders here. 22 cars already won the title. In LMP3, battle for second place. RLR M Sport just ahead of Real Team. So James Dayson hanging on in front of David Drew. And the class-leading United car is just in front of them. Fantastically close racing here at the Circuit du Algarve. And still an hour left in the season. Anything could yet happen. Knowing Portimão and knowing European Le Mans Series, it very probably will. Final pit stop perhaps for the 74 Kessel Racing Ferrari, in from third place in GTE. On board with Alessio Picariello. The leader now in GTE, the 77 Proton Porsche. Don't forget, in that class it is winner takes all. But they still owe a pit stop. So Spirit of Racing second, could win this. Kessel Racing in third, could win this. 77 still to stop, could win this. Richard Leeds fourth in the Porsche. Ahead of Rino Mastronardi and Rahel Frey, the Iron Lynx and Iron Dames cars. Pit stop for United Autosports. This is the 32 car, Alex Brundle. So fresh tyres and a full tank of fuel. 22 takes the lead as G-Drive stops. Mikkel Jensen handing over to Nick de Vries for the final stint of the race, the final hour here in Algarve. Final pit stop for Proton. Alessio Picariello coming out of the pit stop, and look in the background. That's second and third. Those are the two Ferraris. That is David Perel for Kessel Racing and Matt Griffin for Spirit of Race. That's the 1-2-3 in GTE with 53 minutes to go. Wow, this is going to be a close one. Perel needs to win. Picariello needs to win to be champions. They're loving that action in the Porsche team. There's Michael Fassbender watching on. LMP3 leader Tom Gamble in the pits for United Autosports. Again, slick pit work by all these crews. Jonathan Hershey in for Duquesne, and 22 United Autosports in as well. And that is Felipe Albuquerque. And there's a change there. Nick de Vries takes the race lead for G-Drive. He is not going to be easy to catch. G-Drive leading. Nick de Vries doing the anchor leg for the G-Drive team. He'll have about a half lap lead. Jonathan Hershey at Duquesne, talking through his stint. He's handed the car over to Tristan Gomedy. And there is Tristan Gomedy, and he is starting to close down Phil Hansen in the 22 United car. United car goes by David Perel in the Ferrari, still in second in GTE. And there is Tristan Gomedy for Duquesne, looking for a podium here, battling for third place with the United car in front. See the two Ferraris, second and third. Kessel at the moment needing to find some pace to catch the Porsche. Here's the Inter-Europol competition team watching Jako Śmiechowski holding off Antonin Borger in the cool racing car number 37. Just outside the top 10, this is the battle for 11th place at the moment. The pole ahead of the Swiss. Oh, Śmiechowski holding a tight defensive line. And slithering out a little wide. Looks as though Borger's got a little bit more grip from his tyres. Up the hill into the hairpin at 13. And right behind is the race leader for G-Drive. Oh, and is there contact there? No, there isn't quite, as they then climb again. And we'll start to dive down into the final corners. Look at the muck-off line. No wonder Nick de Vries doesn't want to run out wide there. De Vries is through, so too is Borger, and so too going by is Loic Duval for Algarve Pro. Takes 12th place off Jako Śmiechowski. What we're seeing here, the hairpin, David Perel spinning away, second place for Kessel Racing. Matt Griffin into the pit lane, driver change coming up. That's Spirit of Race. Oh, and a change for the lead in LMP3. And that is David Drew for Real Time Racing. He has got by the number 2 United Autosports car. We just picked it up right at the very end. He got by Wayne Boyd. On board with Boyd. Look at this view, flying down through the final corners and then climbing up onto the tableland that is the main straight.
David, si à chaque fois tu ressors bien du T15, il n'y a aucune chance qu'il te double. On a une meilleure top speed.
Team telling David Drew, if you keep him behind in the final corner, he can't come by on the straight. You've got better top speed. Well, there's a tactic he needs to be very aware of. But he's got to be cautious in traffic as well. What can Wayne Boyd do about this? United Autosports car, if he hasn't got top speed. Oh, Drew makes a mistake. He's going to have to go through in the twisty stuff, and he does immediately. Sweeps around the outside. And this is how it happened from on board with Boyd. Straight by he goes. Apologies from David Drew. Well, everybody can make a mistake, but the battle may not yet be over. For now, though, it is United Autosport who lead in LMP3. Jakub Śmigowski with Paul-Luc Chatin all over the back of him for 11th place. The Inter-Europol competition man has been attacked by all and sundry. Chatin sends it deep down the inside. Through he goes. And the Panis car trying to come through on the inside as well. Can't quite find the gap yet. Race leader out front, Nick de Vries, looking pretty smooth. And he's got a decent advantage over the 32 United with 22 in second place. Now it's all about managing the gap, managing traffic. De Vries, no question at all about his pace. Through he goes, past the LMP3 leader, no problems at all. In the pit lane, final stop of the day for 32, Joop van Uytert for United. Formerly raced for G-Drive, of course. Nick de Vries in the pit lane, the race leader is in, Alessio Picariello. So that's the GTE leader and the LMP2 leader in together. Picariello, quick stop. And out comes G-Drive's Nick de Vries. So Picariello, will he stay in front of 74 and 55? Looks like he has. Phil Hansen, the leader for now in the 22 United car. Into the pits comes the number 22 machine. The champions this season. Are they going to win the final race? Duquesne back at the top of the pile. So the number 30 car, Tristan Gomberry, still leading, but still needing to pit. Closing stages of the race. Gomberry through the GTE traffic. And trouble again for the Iron Dames. Rahel Frey this time with a left rear puncture. They really can't catch a break here. On board with our race leader, this is Nick de Vries.
We are currently P2, but the leader is about to pit. We will be P1.
That's what you want to hear with 10 minutes on the clock. The lead coming back to you. Tristan Gomberry in the pits as well. Final stop for them. And looks like he's going to come back out in second place ahead of the United cars. Nick de Vries working his way through traffic. The race leader now. Last year's champions Idexport down in 10th position. It hasn't been their season. The G-Drive 2 runner-up spots and 2 retirements this year. Wayne Boyd leading by 7 seconds now over David Drew, Dino Lunardi in third, Duncan Tappy fourth. Ahead of Garrett Grist and Nico Kari. And everything looking tickety-boo into the closing stages for United's number 2 car. LMP3 leaders heading towards the checkered flag. On board with Alessio Picariello for Proton competition. And this will be a hugely important win. If they get first to the checkered flag, they will win the GTE title. Winners in the season opener, 2 more second places this year, and another victory would seal it for them. Yellow flag in the closing stages, and here's why. A huge off for Jakub Śmigowski. He looked to be in tire trouble anyway, and he's buried in the final corner gravel trap. And there's more trouble ahead, of course, as Alessia Rivera with a left rear puncture. With just about a lap left in the race. Nick de Vries for G-Drive. onto the pit straight for the beginning of the last
Leader
lap.
on the last lap. Teams may come to the pit pole.
And he is trailing a bit of something underneath the car, hopefully nothing important. It's been a long time waiting for victory this year for G-Drive. They've had a real up and down season. 2 podium finishes, second place both times, and 2 retirements. But finally, at the end, it all comes good for them. Yellow flags at the final corner won't worry Nick de Vries. The race leader is a long way clear of the second place Duquesne car. And for G-Drive, it will be a moment to celebrate.
Checkered flag on car 26. Checkered flag on car 26.
Wayne Boyd flashes his headlights. He crosses the line to take victory and the title in LMP3 in the number 2 United car. And GT victory for Alessio Picariello and the 77 Proton Porsche team. Their only win, tied on points at the end of the season with Kessel Racing, but they win it on a tiebreaker. What a finish to the GTE season. G-Drive the winners from Duquesne, their best result of the season, and United the champions in third ahead of their sister car. United win in LMP3 ahead of Real Team and Inter-Europol competition, and the 77 Porsche the winner on the road and in the points ahead of the Kessel Racing 74 and 55 Spirita Race Ferraris. And here are the winners of the 4 Hours of Portimão.
It's a really great feeling, you know, because from the beginning of the year we had the fast car, a great team, but we always had something, bad luck, and we have some crashes. But yeah, it's really good to come here and win this race, especially starting from P6. Yeah, great achievement. Yeah, really happy, and really great competition with United this year.
Roman Rusanov, Nick de Vries and Mikkel Jensen take the top step on the podium ahead of Jonathan Hershey, Tristan Gomedy and Konstantin Tereshenko for Duquesne, Felipe Albuquerque and Phil Hansen third, the champions United Autosport. And confirmation of United's 1-2 result in the title race. G-Drive in third. Last year's champions EDEC only in 9th position in 2020. It's been quite a season for Proton competition. Rookies Michele Beretta and Alessio Picariello joined the boss, the veteran Christian Ried, as champions in GTE.
It's amazing. It was a tough race, and congrats also to Kessel and the 74 crew. They did well, and today was not easy. Actually everybody struggled with the tires, and just to be sure that you'll be safe, and no traffic. But I'm so happy, and Alessio and Mike, they did so great job. So I'm so happy.
So the winners take it all, the race and the championship. Christian Ried, Michele Beretta and Alessio Picariello. A disappointed second, David Perel, Mikhail Bronsevsky and Nicky Cadet. The Spirita Race crew were on the podium, but with a problem with Matt Griffin's drive times, they were dropped to 5th. The Iron Lynx number 60 team eventually taking 3rd spot. So it's the second title for Proton after 2018. Kessel Racing tied on points, but second on the tiebreak. And the Iron Dames just 1 point behind Spirita Race, missing out on 3rd. What a year for United Autosports, the LMP2 champions on top in LMP3 as well.
Fantastic. Obviously, at the end there, it was looking like it was maybe going to have to set up a second, but Wayne gave it, everything, and managed to get the lead, which is fantastic. And obviously, what a nice way to top off the year, but win. So yeah, it's phenomenal. Full credit to everyone at United. They've been superb this year, not just in LMP3, but in LMP2 as well. They've just dominated. So a massive thanks to everyone there, and obviously my 2 teammates here have done a superb job.
The champions Tom Gamble, Wayne Boyd and Rob Weldon are on the top step of the podium ahead of David Drew and Julian Gerby for Real Team, Martin Hipper and Dino Lunardi finishing 3rd for Inter-Europol competition. And it's a third LMP3 team's title for United Autosports after 2016 and 17. Into Europole, second for the third year in a row. Real Team Racing moving up from 7th last year to 3rd. And Euro International, the 2019 champions, ending up in 4th. First choice is an absolute Algarve classic. Speed in the final corner, a slingshot from Mikkel Jensen in the G-Drive car. He gets into the toe and slipstreams by Will Owen in the number 32 United Autosport car. It is a classic Portimão pass. Second up, Aaron Scott in the Spirit of Race Ferrari. Out of turn 3, Michele Barretto's Porsche in the tricky Lagos turn, struggling for traction, and he gets the inside line up the hill. It's all about that grip from the tyres, down the inside into the hairpin. He puts it to bed. For the third choice, it's Cool Racing's Antonin Borger working hard to get by Jakub Śmiechowski in the tricky final sector. Can't get the inside at 13, but drives around as Śmiechowski runs out wide. He'll take the outside line, and the grip comes to play as he has the racing line and takes the place. Major choice, go to the ELMS official Facebook page and vote. COVID situation, of course, prevented the usual award ceremony, so the champions got their trophies in front of the garages from the ACO president Pierre Fillon. And despite some rumbustious racing, some tough conditions, the season has delivered what it always does: fantastic close racing. And it all starts again for 2021 in Barcelona in April. Until then, congratulations to all our teams for dealing with a fantastically difficult season, and to our champions for their triumph. We'll see you in April. Until then, take care.